Look who is back. It is an off-season edition of the wrap-up show, Jon and Jim. Xander Bogaerts, Jim. All right, Jon Heyman tweeting about
Oh my God,
Xander
is he a
Bogaerts.
Padre already?
It's not officially official, but Xander Bogaerts. This is Jon Heyman over the weekend saying that the Padres are interested in acquiring a shortstop. Why? Good question. And that they, quote-unquote, like Xander Bogaerts. I mean, they should like Xander Bogaerts. It's a guy that's been a multiple-time All-Star, only about 30 years of age, hits and has hit for power, although didn't really hit for power this past year. All right, Jon and Jim with you. Make sure to subscribe, smash that like button for us. Follow us on Twitter at Jon Schaefer, at Jim Russell SD. If you want to support this channel, you can click the $sign in the chat box. So if you want to support the channel, we get to all of the super chats. Click the $sign in the chat box down below. Okay, so what do you think? The Padres, who already have Fernando Tatis Jr., who have Ha-Seong Kim coming off a 5-WAR year, who have tons of middle infielders, if you think about Jake Cronenworth and what he's provided to the Padres, even at short. Is there any reasonable chance that the Padres go out and spend $175 million plus on Xander Bogaerts this offseason?
No, John.
Come on, man. You just ruined the show.
I mean, you said it before the show while we were talking. You like tofu burgers.
Yeah,
I like French fries.
I like supermodels.
I like money. I like what else? Like, I like a lot of things. That's great. Padres probably like Xander Bogaerts a lot. I'm sure they like a lot of players. But this is not this isn't happening. This is not. Can we stop this now? Or are we just bored? Are we just waiting for something to happen? Are we just talking about Xander Bogaerts because we're waiting for actual real stuff because we're just bored?
Normally, if it was any other team, I'd say yes, but because it's AJ Preller, I mean, I don't think it's a 0%. I think it's like a 0.1% chance. I just don't see where the bigger concern for me would be the dollars. Like, they've spent $100 million plus on so many players. Musgrove, Machado, Hosmer, obviously gone, but they're still paying him. It's like, how can you continue to spend $100 million plus would be my question. And on a position that is not a position of need. Now, imagine that lineup, though, just for a second, Jim. Let's fast forward. It's April 20th. Tatis is back. And you have Tatis leading off. He hasn't played in like 7 years. You've got Manny. You've got Soto, not necessarily in that order. You've got Bogarts. You got Jake the Rake. You've got Ha-Seong Kim. I don't know. You got 15 million shortstops. What do you think? I mean, that's as good of a lineup as there would be maybe in the National League.
Yeah, I can't wait to win the lottery one day too. Like, it's fun to talk about, and it's fun to make these lineups, and it's fun to think about. But look, we got to look at the report here, guys. Come on, man. Jon Heyman.
Mm-hmm.
All he said was the Padres like Xander Bogaerts.
Right.
Cool.
They probably like Shohei Ohtani too.
Yeah, they like a lot of players. And if you're looking at the needs of this team, I just don't, it doesn't fit at all. Xander Bogaerts is an amazing player. Of course you want him on the Padres. Of course you would take him on the Padres right now. 1,000%. But come on, guys. We're just bored, right? This is just a bore. Like, this is a discussion because we know Preller can do these kinds of things, and like he did with Juan Soto. And I'm not going to look at well, Preller can do all this stuff, and he's done it before as a sign that we should take this seriously. That's just me personally.
All right, let's get to some of these supers. I will say this: Bogarts is not coming off his best season. Bogarts is also not a kid. Let's see. He's 30, and he'll play all of next season as a 30-year-old. Will not turn 31 until October 1st. Yeah, he's coming off a very good year. He had a 5.8 WAR. But again, you have a shortstop in Ha-Seong Kim that had a 5 WAR a year ago. So, all right, let's get to some of these supers. Again, if you want to support this channel, click the $sign down below. We appreciate your support of the wrap-up show. Make sure to subscribe. We have year-round Padres content for you. So, Justin, thank you very much. He says, do you think the interest in Bogarts is legit? Jim says no. Or do you think it's a smokescreen so people would overpay for him and that way we can get another player? Here's what I would say. If they're spending $100 million plus, and this is not a $100 million player, by the way, at age 30, it's way beyond that. He's a 5-year, 6-year contract, 25-a-year player. So if I'm spending that kind of money, I could go get Kodai Senga, and I'm not spending near 150, 175 million. And I think Senga's more of a position of need. I can get Senga and Abreu, and that still is probably less than Bogarts. So if I'm going to go spend 125 this offseason, I'm going to go get Kodai Senga from Japan. I'm going to go get Jose Abreu because I've got a real need at first base. And I'm not going to get cute here and have Fernando Tatis Jr., Ha-Seong Kim, and Xander Bogaerts all on the same team when they all play the same position. That's what I would do.
Who even says they have 150 million to spend this offseason?
I agree with you. They might have 50.
Where's all this money coming from?
Right.
Like, are they going to go out and spend 150 million in the offseason? Come on, guys. I mean, like, I think Xander Bogaerts is a great player, obviously. But if you're telling me, like, Kodai Senga or more pitching, they need more pitching. That's the need here. Well, going out and getting Bogarts is great, but you still didn't address a need in your pitching staff.
And by the way, his slug has dropped each of the last 3 years. The short year, 502, which is a big number for a shortstop. 2021, 493, which is good. And then last year, he slugged 456. Mm-hmm. He only hit 15 home runs last year in 150 games. That was in Boston. You'd be going to Petco. I mean, this is not the definition of a pure slugger. This is not Fernando Tatis Jr. This guy could hit 15 home runs, but he's not going to hit 30. Mm-hmm. So, that's a lot of money for a guy that fields his position well, gets on base, has a nice OPS, but you're paying him age 34 and age 35, right? You're not getting him on a 2-year deal. No 30-year-old is signing a 2-year deal.
Mike Clevenger's got $12 million today. Okay. $12 million. I'm not saying
Clevenger short.
No, I'm not saying that's the same market. I'm just saying, like, we all thought Clevenger would get like a 1-year, $6 million deal. He got $12 million.
How did he get $12 million off this past year? Because it was Tommy John and they gave it a pass?
Probably.
Yeah.
But my point is, like, it's nice and fun to play fantasy baseball with money. But at the end of the day, we have no clue exactly what this team has to spend, what this team's willing to spend, and what Xander Bogaerts is going to want in free agency.
Well, I'm reading MLB trade rumors, or I read it earlier today, and trade rumors says that his value based on his performance, like MLB trade rumors predict 7 years, 189.
Okay, not happening.
So that is, what's 7 times 25? 7 times 25 is 175. So that's 7 at 27 a year. That's essentially Machado and Tatis money. It's essentially that type of money. He hit 307 last year. But again, he didn't really slug. He's 30 years of age, $27 million a year for 7 years. I mean, you got to think about the other side of this deal too. I mean, I want to win a World Series like everybody else, but you all of a sudden start thinking about 2026. You got a 35-year-old Manny Machado and a 36-year-old Xander Bogaerts.
Who would you rather spend all this money on, Juan Soto or Xander Bogaerts?
Hey, that to me is not close because you look at the age, you look at the career numbers. They're not close offensive players.
No,
there's no comparison offensively. If you look at career numbers of Soto and Bogaerts, there's no comparison. So that's a great point. It really is. Let's get to this from Michael, our buddy. Michael, thank you for your membership and the super. If you guys want to support this channel, you can click the $sign down below. We get to all of the supers. Thank you for the memberships. Click the join button down below. Do you have COVID or something?
No, I got something in my throat. It's like,
see, I've had that for the last couple of days, but I'm taking every allergy product in the world. Should be a good Jon and Jim today.
Yeah, it should be a great Jon and Jim back together again.
Yeah, it should be great.
I got some like phlegm in my throat, and you have like a little thing that you got from Hawaii. Good job.
Yeah, no big deal.
It's fine.
Okay, so Michael says if we get Bogarts, trade Kim. Kim has value because he doesn't make a lot of money. He's got 2 years left on his deal. He's making like 5 or 6 a year.
A lot of teams would love Ha-Seong Kim as your
coming off a really nice year. I would think of it this way. If you had Xander Bogaerts, you could play Ha-Seong Kim at second. You could play Jake Cronenworth at first. You probably don't go out and get a first baseman at that point. That's your four shortstop infield, right? With Machado and Bogarts and Cronenworth and Kim. So defensively, you'd be very sound. You would also be spending, a fortune on your infield. Machado 300, Bogarts 200, Kim somewhat of a value. Cronenworth still on a deal where he hasn't become a free agent as of yet. But you'd have Tatis, who's a shortstop, at what, $340 million? Think about that. You'd have like $1 billion in shortstops. Machado at one point was a shortstop, 300. Bogarts 200.
$1 billion at your shortstop,
right?
guys.
I mean, you'd be. I'm not kidding. I mean, you'd be about $850 million in on potential shortstops.
Come on,
Peter, do it. Be a man.
Yeah, do it, Peter. Just spend all the money. It's fine. Who cares?
Can you imagine that? If they had Tatis, Bogarts, Machado, Soto, I mean, that really is like a little bit of a super team.
John, it already is kind of a little bit of a super team.
True.
Like if you can get a point next year where you got Tatis, Soto, and Manny all clicking at the same time, and they're all healthy, like that is the what I am most what I'm most looking forward to next season is that moment when you see Tatis, Soto, and Manny just like all on fire. And I hope sometimes it doesn't happen. A lot of times we're like, okay, we're waiting for the offense to come. We're waiting for this guy, waiting for Soto to come around, we're waiting for Tatis. And it didn't happen last year. And so it's not a guarantee we're going to see that from those guys. But if that does happen, that right there is a super team. You have three of the best players in baseball all clicking at the same time next year. That's a super team. They already got it.
I'm putting the over-under at 6 home runs for the 2-game series in Mexico City from Tatis, Machado, Soto.
Six home runs in
the
2
elevation
games?
is like 7,000 feet. It's probably like 310
God.
to left and like 305 to right. I'm putting the over-under at 6 home runs. I think someone has a multiple home run game, maybe 5.5.
Wow.
But the Tatis thing, I think there's reason for trepidation just based on the amount of time he's been out.
Mm-hmm.
But there's no reason to think Fernando Tatis Jr. isn't going to look like Fernando Tatis Jr. It might take a little bit of time. And the injuries are serious. I mean, shoulder and wrist are significant, and it might take a little bit of time. But he's 24 years of age. I think Tatis is going to be Tatis. I mean, look at what Pedro predicts for next year. This is going to be like the greatest hitting team in baseball history.
He'd be the greatest team in
Padres history, definitely.
Padres history. If that happens next year, and they still win like 83 games.
Right. Man, if Tatis can hit 35 home runs, missing 20 games,
Johnny has Tatis at 52 home runs.
I know. I'm saying if you could hit 35, I would take that right now, right?
If it's 25, I'll take it right now.
Yeah, maybe. Probably. Coming off the injuries and playing 130 games.
You have no idea what you're going to get from him.
Yeah.
But if you do get 25 to 30 home runs from Tatis, like, I'm not saying that they don't need Xander Bogaerts because every team would need a Xander Bogaerts.
Mm-hmm.
But what's the point of going out and giving $190 million to Xander Bogaerts when you have Fernando Tatis Jr.?
That's an interesting point. Again, when you have needs like your number 5 starter, your first base, first baseman, left field potentially.
It's like if I just bought an iPhone, like a brand new iPhone, right? And I was like, you know what? I want another iPhone. And you go out and buy another iPhone. Now you have 2 iPhones. And you're like,
that's not really a good problem. Then you have 2. It's just annoying.
Well, it's not annoying, but I'm just saying, like, you have 2 of something and you just spend all this money on it. And like for the Padres, if you have 2, like if you have Fernando Tatis Jr., okay, and you get Xander Bogaerts, and you spend all this money, you're paying all this money to these 2 guys. Well, guess what? You still have to worry about your pitching staff. You still have to worry about your bench. You still have to worry about first base. You still have to worry about, catcher spot if you're going to want to upgrade there. Like, there's so many other things with this team that needs upgrading right now than going out and spending all this money on a Xander Bogaerts.
Because you know what Xander Bogaerts doesn't do? He doesn't hold your 3-run first inning lead in Game 4 of the National League Championship Series, and Mike Clevenger can't get an out. What he also doesn't do is pitch through the 4th and 5th innings with a 6-4 lead, like Sean Manaea couldn't do. Or you know what he also doesn't do is try to protect the lead with Bryce Harper at the plate.
Yeah.
So, like, as valuable as position players are, and they are, I mean, make no mistake. I mean, you have to have somewhat of a formidable lineup to go out and win a World Series, but I'd rather spend the money on pitching, especially based on what I saw last year in the National League Championship Series. Where are you going? All right. Well, while Jim leaves, and we do have something we haven't even discussed that we'll have for you coming up in a moment. I do want to thank Mark Nimitz at Farmers Insurance for his support of this channel. Mark Nimitz is the title sponsor of the wrap-up show. If you have auto, home, renter's, life, or earthquake insurance needs, you need to get in contact with Mark. He has supported this channel since day one, which is probably about 15 or 16 months. He is a great insurance agent. Take it from me. I've got my homeowners through Mark. I've got, what else do I have? Do I have auto?
Life insurance?
Life insurance. I have life insurance through Mark Nimitz as well. So if you have auto, home, renter's, life, or earthquake insurance needs, you got to get in contact with Mark. He can save you $750 just by switching. So $750. He's a lifelong San Diegan. He's a lifelong Padres fan. If you support this channel and want to support our partners, please give Mark a call. Here's his website. You can get a quote online. You can get all of the information you need at his website. There's a link down below. He'll talk to you about the Padres. Winter meetings are just a week away. Anything you want to talk about, your insurance needs, Padres baseball, Mark is there for you. And again, Mark, thank you for your support of this channel. Save money. The next time you have a renewal up in insurance, before you click renew, get in contact with Mark Nimitz at Farmers Insurance.
Yeah, all his information's above my head. Nimitz at farmersagents.com.
Like me,
dude, it's effing annoying. Nimitz at farmersagents.com. We reach out to him, let him know that Jon and Jim from the wrap-up show sent you.
So Jim is one of these guys that, like, if he starts a day sick, he ends a day sick, but then the next day he's not necessarily sick.
I'm not sick. I need to cough this out of my throat.
You've said that to me before. Like, I just need to, like, get it out of my throat. I don't think the body works like that, because then it just, like, reproduces whatever you've gotten rid of.
I don't know, dude. It's going to be a disaster today. A disaster.
We should do, like, a doctor wrap-up show.
We should get a doctor. Yes, I should
go
to
get
the
a
doctor
on.
Yeah, it's a good idea.
All right, let's get back to some of these supers. Again, Jon and Jim with you. Xander Bogaerts. Jon Heyman says the Padres, quote-unquote, like Xander Bogaerts and are also interested in acquiring a shortstop. Why?
I like money.
Good question.
I like food. I like sushi.
Michael, thank you again. He says, my super team would include Judge, not Bogarts. Did you see the reports today out of L.A. where the Dodgers are at least kicking around the idea of moving Betts to second so they could maybe make a run for Aaron Judge? This is getting a little cute when you do things like this. I mean, you've got an MVP caliber player right now, if you're the Dodgers, in Mookie Betts. Now, could he play second? Of course, he's played second before, but you're going to go spend $500 on Betts to go spend $400 on Judge and move Betts' position to go get Judge and keep him away from what? San Francisco? Do you really even need to bolster your lineup? I mean, was your lineup the reason why you lost the Padres last year? You couldn't hit with men in scoring position in the playoffs, and you had no starting pitching in the postseason. So they love shiny objects. It's worked out pretty well. I mean, they win divisions with shiny objects. They don't win a World Series that way. But if I'm the Padres, no, there's no team that has Aaron Judge on it. It doesn't make sense. You either have Soto in right, you might have Tatis in right. It's not a position of need if you already have Juan Soto. If you're not spending $175 on Bogarts, you're not spending $275 on Judge, right?
No.
Now, again, in the theoretical, like you said, fantasy baseball, a super team, I mean, I would take him if he just wants to play here on like a 1-year flyer deal after hitting 62 home runs or whatever he hit.
A 1-year flyer deal for the Padres. Sure,
hey,
it's
I
fine.
want to play in the worst hitting yard in baseball to go prove my worth in the National League, even though I could get $300 million elsewhere. What is he going to get?
You know what, dude? Here's what they're going to do. Just sign Bogarts. It's fine. Sign Judge to a 1-year flyer deal. Prove it deal.
Love it.
And
Senga, 1-year deal.
Go sign Senga.
Verlander.
And then go sign Carlos Rodon. You're done. Season.
Yeah.
That's a wrap.
By the way, if Rodon is 5 for 125, which is being kicked around, why would I possibly consider 7 for 179 for Bogarts?
Makes no sense,
like,
dude.
Rodon is so much more valuable. Has he had some health issues? Yes. A lot of pitchers have, but I'm taking Rodon and plugging him towards the top of my rotation and pitching him in the National League Championship Series over Mike Clevenger and Sean Manaea, and I'm winning National League Championship Series. If the Padres had Carlos Rodon last year, they might have won the World Series. Could have been the difference between winning the World Series or not.
So far this offseason, Jesus fucking. So far this, I'm gonna break something here in a bit.
You should break your throat.
Okay. So far this offseason, if I could.
Here's what I
fucking
want you
talk.
to take. Seriously.
No, I just
Go
need to
get
have
some
a
apple
loogie.
cider vinegar.
I literally have like mucus I need to spit out. That's what I have in my throat right now. And I can't do it because I'm talking.
Congratulations. Here's what I want you to get. Put some apple cider vinegar and some water. I've done it right here. Put a little bit of honey in there. Okay. Stir it around. Drink it. When you've completed that, take some Claritin, take some Flonase, drink some tea, chamomile preferably. Open up your cabinet, take some medicine that's not going to knock you out, and you'll be good.
Okay, cool. So this offseason with Preller, what has he done? He's
done a lot, actually.
I know, but what has he done so far? Pitching.
Suarez Martinez. We buried the lead. Julio Teheran, or however you say Teheran.
He's your new 4th starter.
No, he's not.
You're a 5th starter.
No, hopefully he's not.
No. But he has incentives as he makes the big leagues too. So
yeah, so minor league deal. If he doesn't make the team, it could be pitching depth. If he does make the team, he probably earned it. He hasn't thrown in like 3 years, essentially, in the big leagues.
I just remember one start he had, I think, versus the Padres, and he completely shoved.
He was like an ace for years. He was so good.
With the Braves.
But his arm is, he's thrown a lot of innings.
Yeah. But the point is, like, actions speak louder than words here. And the actions of AJ Preller is the priority of this team was to make sure they get more pitching and re-sign their own guys.
Mm-hmm.
And that is so far, I think, the main thing with AJ Preller. That's why you see him having a meeting with Kodai Senga, because pitching, it means everything. Okay. Has there been any meetings with Xander Bogaerts reported? No, they just like him. Okay. I like a lot of things. They like a lot of players, but when you look at the actions of this team so far in this offseason, pitching.
That's a good point. It is. Okay, if you could right now, listen to this scenario. Abreu on a 2-year deal, whatever the dollars are. Nothing crazy, right?
Man, if okay.
Profar, hear me out. So Abreu on a 2-year deal. Profar on a reasonable deal, maybe with a bump of $2 million a year. Just hear me out.
Okay.
Kodai Senga, 5 for 80. So let's say I'm 80 on Senga. I'm 35 on Abreu on 115. I'm making this up on Profar. I'm 35 more. That's 150.
For 3 guys.
And Bogarts is going to cost more than that. So, like, what makes the Padres better? Senga, Abreu, Profar, or Bogarts? I don't think it's even a question.
It's not even close.
Now, you could throw Rodon in there if you want to get rid of Profar and Senga and do Rodon and Abreu.
It's as close as from here, the distance of Earth to Jupiter.
How far is that?
That's very far. That's how close those are. And Earth is of pitching and Abreu and Profar back over Xander Bogaerts.
By the way, I'm with Andrew. I don't need to see Profar back, not at a bump. Again, I thought he had a nice year. I don't think it's the difference for the Padres.
Don't test your luck here. Don't try to test your luck here and try to get a replication of last year.
And pay him more.
And pay him more money.
Better. Yeah. So I'm with you, Andrew. Now, Michael, thank you again for the super, and thank you guys for the supers. Click the $ in the chat box down below if you want to contribute and support this channel. We do greatly appreciate it. We get to all of the super chats. Jon and Jim with you. Please subscribe as well if you're a Padres fan. Michael says maybe sign DeGrom for pitching.
Sure.
Again, the issue with DeGrom, the issue with Judge.
Just sign Senga, DeGrom, and Rodon. Done.
Yeah, it's like, DeGrom hasn't been healthy and is going to command a pretty penny. So, like, that's a risky signing, whoever signs Jacob DeGrom. Now, do you want to pitch him in the postseason healthy? Yeah. He was awesome. Game 2, I thought, against the Padres. But
look, if the Padres sign either one of these players, not Kodai Senga, Jacob DeGrom, Carlos Rodon, or Xander Bogaerts, I'll say I'm an idiot every single day on the air for the rest of my life.
Even Rodon.
Yeah.
Just because you're saying it's not affordable.
I don't think so. I just don't. I
What
think
would your
those guys
rotation be? Let's go through the rotation. Darvish making 20 plus next year. Let's just think about it from 2023. Darvish
Right.
at 20, right? Snell, I'm making it up. 17?
I think 16 or 17.
Okay, 16. Let's say 36 right there. Musgrove 20. So you're at 56 when you add that up. The 4 is Martinez. What's he getting guaranteed just for next year? 10 or 12?
10.
Okay, so you're at 66 in your rotation. Let's add Rodon at 25. You're 91 in for your 5-man rotation. That's about as expensive as any rotation in baseball, I would have to imagine.
And even Kodai Senga is, even if you got Kodai Senga, that is a still massive bump there too. That's close to 15.
That's 16, 17 a year.
Yeah. So that, like, could they go out? Could AJ Preller and Peter Seidler spend all this money? Absolutely could. They have all the money they want. They could go spend as much money as possible.
But they haven't done it the last 2 off seasons with the CBT, right?
No, they haven't. So again, actions speak louder than words. And if you guys think that all of a sudden they're just going to blow past this luxury tax threshold when they haven't done it the last couple of years, when they easily could have, again, think about that, guys.
Now, could you make a trade for someone that makes good money like Josh Hader?
You could absolutely make a trade, and I think that's what Preller is obviously looking to do, because dude trades. I mean, he trades with people at like Denny's. He's like, I'll trade you this biscuit for 2 whatever. Like, he loves to make trades. He loves to try to improve his team that way. And I think if they're going to go get a starter, like a quality starter, if it's not Kodai Senga, then it's 100% going to be through trades.
Yeah, I agree with that. If it's a splashy, if it's a sizable ad, because what's the way to do it? It's just more it's financially feasible to do it via trade as opposed to just go buy it in free agency. Now, there's also reports. There's also these reports they don't want to trade Jackson Merrill. They don't want to trade Luis Campusano. That doesn't make any sense.
Well, why would they say they want to trade him, John? That makes no sense for them either.
Yeah,
like,
but
why would they say,
hey,
we're looking to trade Luis Campusano? Like, why would you say that?
Well, they've kind of said it with their actions, though, because he hasn't played for the last 3 years.
I know that. I'm just saying, like, why would you also say, yeah, we're not trading these guys? And then, like, you have an opportunity that comes up and all of a sudden you're like, they want Campusano and you're going to get a quality, good pitcher for it. Of course, you're going to trade Campusano.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm trading Jackson Merrill too, if I can help my team in 2023.
So there's no, I read nothing into that.
What about when AJ Preller said he envisions Eric Hosmer as his first baseman when the Padres win the World Series?
That's why I read nothing into that.
That was 1 year and 1 week ago, by the way.
Nothing.
Thank you, Where You At Productions, for the very generous super chat. Thank you guys for hanging out. If you want to support this channel.
Remember when Mackenzie Gore was a guy that they were not going to trade? Guess what? They traded him. Remember when CJ Abrams was a guy they were not going to trade? Guess what? They traded him.
It's like anyone. Everyone's expendable. Everyone has a price. Where You At Productions, thank you again for the super. Thank you guys for hanging out. If you want to contribute, just click the $ down below. We will get to all of the supers. He says you have to worry about other priorities, first base and catching, maybe pitching, maybe add outfield depth. And you can get guys like Abreu, Bellinger, or Senga for 2 years for reasonable deals. Now, you can't get Senga for 2 years. You can get Abreu. I don't know about the market for Bellinger. I would think he'd be affordable or on a 1 or 2 year deal. But Senga is not going to be a 2-year guy. He's going to be a 4+ year guy. But you do have to worry about other priorities. It's a good point. Like, your number one priority is not Xander Bogaerts. Your number one priority is not Aaron Judge.
And also, too,
even Jacob deGrom.
Like, free agency compared to trades. Who thinks that Blake Snell and Yu Darvish would have chose San Diego in free agency? Because I don't think they would have.
Mm-hmm.
So in free agency, not only do you have to make sure you have enough money for the dude, you have to convince them to come there. Okay? With trades, they don't have a choice. You just trade for them. Like, same thing with Juan Soto, unless he gets paid what he wants. Like, do you think Juan Soto's picking San Diego unless he gets $550 million?
Right. The money talks. Obviously, Machado. I mean, he wasn't coming if he didn't get the best deal here, to your point. You know,
Yeah, so
he'd
you
be a
have to
White
do the
Sox if the
money.
White Sox offer 330.
Right. You have to make sure not only you have the money, but you convince the guy to get here. And maybe some guys are different. Some guys just are looking at the money, like Machado did with the Padres back when he signed here. And maybe some guys they want to look at both. They look at the money and the prospects of winning.
Nick Martinez, Robert
Yeah.
Suarez. I mean, maybe
Right.
they wanted to be here for a reason, wanted fair market value, but maybe
Joe
they could have gotten
Musgrove,
a few,
he chose
few
here
million more.
because of the winning prospects and the
Yeah.
money, and obviously it's San Diego.
Musgrove could have gotten more than 100. I don't know how much more, but he could have gotten a little more than 100. All right, we're going to get back to the chat in a moment. We appreciate you guys hanging out. Jon and Jim with you. Please subscribe. We have year-round Padres content for you. We do want to remind you that this page is made possible by our friends at Aura, ORA.organic. 30% off your first order by clicking Build Your Routine in the bottom right-hand corner. It's highlighted in green right now. Their co-founder, Will, is a huge Padres fan, a great guy. They have offices in Liberty Station. I was over there yesterday, actually, not at their offices, but at Liberty Station. And he's a San Diegan. You were there too?
When were you there?
From like 1 to 4. Jones was napping for 90 minutes in my car, so I was just sitting in a parking lot. And then for 90 minutes, I just strolled him around.
Oh, wait. Was I there yesterday? No, I was there on Saturday. My bad.
You're an idiot. ORA.organic. Again, their co-founders are San Diegan and a huge Padres fan. This is an amazing company. They've got probiotics. I take one every single day. They have proteins. They have pre-workout supplements. They have omega-3 oils, not fish oils, even better. Omega-3 oils, sleep supplements, immunity pills. I mean, literally something for everyone. Great gift in the holiday season, something that can really get you going for 2023 as well. Check them out at ORA.organic. Again, 30% off your very first order. Just click Build Your Routine in the bottom right-hand corner. And again, if you support this channel, please support our partners, Mark Nimitz at Farmers Insurance and Aura, ORA.organic.
Yeah, go there right now, www.aura.organic. Build Your Routine there in the bottom right-hand corner. You get 30% off your first order. Also, it's Cyber Monday, so they have 20% off the Power Plant protein powder there. So make sure to go there right now, www.aura.organic. They have everything you need to live a healthy lifestyle. Go check them out.
All right, there was an interesting, I like this from Omar. What about Bassett? You know, maybe that's more of a mid-tier starter in terms of cost, and a guy that had a very nice year, obviously, with the New York Mets. I still don't think it's going to be cheap, but then again, no starting pitching is really cheap. When you look at Mike Clevenger getting $12 million off a really bad year.
$12 million.
We're talking about $12 million. So I mean, the going rate is like the get-in price is like 12. But if you want someone that's beyond serviceable, if you want someone that's good, what's the going rate or the get-in price? 15. So it's not going to be cheap, but if it's 15 per year and you need a fifth starter, I mean, Bassett's a possibility. Senga's a possibility. I don't think they're going to be in on a veteran like Verlander. There's some starting pitching out there. There is. Rodon is obviously expensive.
Verlander is not going to get like a 1 year, $12 million.
No, it's going to be like 2 for 80.
Yeah. He just won the freaking Cy Young, okay?
For like the 80th time.
Seriously.
Plus, he doesn't pitch well in the postseason, which is like, if you're going to spend $40 million to get to the postseason.
He doesn't pitch well in the World Series.
True. You're right. Okay, let's see here. No, Jim has not been taking the probiotic. He has not. Hence the fact that he's dying.
I got this like phlegm in my throat. I need to get out.
And then Michael rips into you because, they traded Gordon Abrams, but they got him for, they traded him for Soto.
Yeah, I know. That's my point with Campusano and like Jackson Merrill.
Right.
If there's an opportunity to get a player, not like Juan Soto, because those guys don't come around ever, but like an opportunity to get a close to top flight pitcher, you're trading Jackson Merrill and Luis Campusano. Yeah,
certainly Campusano. I mean, there's no indication that they even like him. Like, there's literally no indication at all.
None. They haven't even played the guy.
Right? Trying to think what else. I mean, we are literally a week away. I mean, winter meetings start a week from today in San Diego. I don't know if we're broadcasting from there. Hopefully we are for a day or two.
Rumor is we will be there. We just don't know how long we'll be there for.
Well, here's the thing. You want to go inside radio for a second?
Sure.
Because next Monday, the Aztecs have a basketball game.
Ooh, that means we won't be there.
So, but we might be there Tuesday, or maybe we're there Monday, and I just leave at like 5 o'clock. And you just like hack up a lung for the final hour of the show.
Good radio.
That'd be
better
pretty
than
good,
some
right?
radio.
What about this? Jackson says Senga,
Okay.
Bell,
Okay.
resign Bell, bring back Minaya on a flyer deal, and put Tatis in left. What's Minaya going to get if Clevenger just got 12? Is he going to get like $10 million?
I mean, he pitched 160 plus innings last year.
True. He did. He was good for like 2 months.
He was throwing. I mean, his command in the postseason was shit, but he was throwing 98.
Was he throwing 98?
Yeah, I was like, what?
Very hittable 98, apparently.
It was a arrow straight 98, got rocked, but
Sean Manaea was pitching with a 6-4 lead in Game 4 of the National League Championship Series, which could have tied the series at 2 games apiece.
Stop it.
What? What are we doing? This isn't Cactus League.
The fuck is happening?
Right? Like, don't get cute there. Go to whomever for 2. Go to Pierce Johnson. Go to Suarez. Go to Hader.
Go to Garcia.
Yes. I mean, what are we doing?
Garcia gave up a run. He didn't give up 7 runs.
5 without recording it out.
The bullpen that day, I think, gave up 1 run total.
Dude, they tried getting 2 innings out of Sean Manaea. It wasn't 1. It wasn't 2 outs. It wasn't the final out of an inning.
They tried to get 6 outs from him.
And they left him in so long in that 5th. I think like 4 batters reached or something.
It's like, oh, you got to face Schwarber and Reese Hoskins and
Castellanos and Harper. He should
do it.
Yeah, he should be fine. It's like
fine.
Bullet off the wall, home run.
Rockets.
Oh,
yes, we're still bitter about that moment.
We're just trying to get 6 outs out of him. Well,
trying to get 6 because we're
worried
about Game 6
against the Marlins.
We're worried about Game 6, John. The bullpen's not going to be rested if we don't pitch Manaea here for 2 innings.
All right, so here's the deal. Wrap show is back. We'll have multiple shows for you this week. We'll have multiple shows for you next week. Winter meetings are right here in San Diego. If you're not listening to us on the radio, you really should. We're on San Diego Sports 760. So if you're local, please tune in 3 to 6 every single day. Weekdays 3 to 6, Monday through Friday. If you're not in San Diego, you can listen on the iHeartRadio app. If you can't listen live, you can listen back on. How can you listen back? TuneIn Radio, iHeartRadio app, Spotify, and there's another app as well. And could you leave a review for us as well if you're listening to the podcast? We would appreciate that. That's helpful. But again, please subscribe. If you're a Padres fan, we have year-round Padres content for you. We do want to thank our sponsors, Mark Nimitz at Farmers Insurance. He can save you $750 just by switching your insurance. He's the title sponsor of this channel. Click the link down below to get to Mark's website or save 30% off at Aura as well. And thank you, Will, for your support of this channel. ORA.organic. Again, ORA.organic. Much more. Is this official? Or is this speculation?
Hold on.
Ben, don't just drop that in there.
Bobby Nightingale. Yep.
So that doesn't mean anything. Wow. Do we have terms? Do you know what the deal is?
I don't know.
Nightingale's reporting that?
Yeah.
Read what the tweet says.
That the Astros are finalizing a deal with Jose Abreu.
Really? So what does that mean from Preller's perspective? Kylie McDaniel has Abreu getting 2 years, 46. Oh, that was okay. No, that was 2 weeks ago. That's crazy money. So where do you turn? Drury, Bell?
Well, yeah. I mean, yeah. There's options. There's options out there.
Yeah, there's a number of first base options. He's not young, obviously. He didn't hit for power this past year. It'll be interesting to see the deal. But maybe too rich for the Padres. And again, if you're not going to pay him 2 for 40, are you going to pay Bogarts 7 for 189?
No. And that's probably a little bit of a blow to Preller and the Padres because it was reported that he was a top target for them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's been reported for days and days now.
Yeah.
Maybe for a couple of weeks. Yeah, that's a little disappointing. Not to say that it was a formality, but
you would have liked him. It's not the end of the world, but like
no.
That if I had to choose between Abreu, Bell, or Drury, I'm picking Abreu.
Yeah. And he's going to be paid like that, dude. You know what I mean? Like whatever Abreu got, Bell's not getting.
No.
In all likelihood. And whatever he got, Drury isn't getting. I'm not opposed to bringing one of those two back. I know Bell was not good in a Padres uniform, and I thought Drury was good, not great, right? Above average. But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if one of those two comes back. But interesting. All right, Abreu to the Astros reportedly, according to Bob Nightingale. All right, please subscribe. We have year-round Padres content for you. Smash the like button for us. Follow us on Twitter at John Schaefer, at Jim Russell SD. We appreciate your memberships. Just click the join button down below. And thank you guys for the supers as well. We'll see you on the radio. Much more on this coming up at 3 p.m. on San Diego Sports 760. For Sick Jim, relatively healthy John. Go get
I'm
healthy.
going to go hawk up all of my loogies now.
Dude, apple cider vinegar. Be a man.